Franklin says, fans are cancer for the authentic individual. Well, that's a tough one, you know. I mean, cancer, no, that's too dramatic. I mean, I guess that what you're pointing at is the danger of fame, and I can certainly appreciate that. I can't say that I'm particularly comfortable with it, which might seem to be rather hypocritical, as it isn't like I've shied away from exposing my views in public. But I felt that I was driven to that by necessity and also by my desire to educate people. However, I would say, despite the fact that I'm somewhat uncomfortable with it, I think that's mostly because of the responsibility. You know, I've been terrified for a whole year that I'd say something, you know, unforgivably stupid and, you know, demolish myself in public and you know, feel guilty and horrible about that for the rest of my life. And so far I've been fortunate. There's been some close calls, but I've been fortunate. But, you know, now when I go places, people often recognize me. Even at this little town we went up to this weekend, there were 2 people that came up to me in the parking lot and were excited to meet me. And, you know, the vast majority of encounters, all of the encounters I have with people in public have been really wonderful. I have to say that. The people have been extremely friendly, and, you know, sometimes they're a bit starstruck, which I find strange. I can see the projection, you know, so it's unsettling for me. Although I'm not judging anybody for it. It's just a strange thing to observe. You know, I can't complain about the fact that people are positively predisposed to what I'm doing. I mean, it's such a privilege. I can't imagine what it would be like to be hated publicly. I think that would just kill me. I really think that. But so, I mean, it's. I suppose there's the possibility of having that sort of thing go to your head, and and I mean, that happens to people. But I think I've said this before, maybe on the Q&As. I have a pretty sensible family, and I have a pretty, what would you say? I have a pretty good sense of my limitations, I would say. We could even call it an acute sense, and so I'm not particularly worried that this is going to go to my head in some way that would, you know, inflate my ego or something like that, huh? I mean, I think one of the things I have noticed is that I might be a little less patient with people when I'm speaking, because I'm more used to than might be good for me to be listened to, and so I have to watch that. But I've always been pretty noisy and talkative, and so that's probably something that's plagued me or been a characteristic of me ever since I was a little tiny kid. I mean, I used to talk all the time when I was a little guy. I mean, I think my cousin Eric Poneth, he probably listens to this, he used to call me Motor Mouth, and that was about exactly right. I was like a miniature Camille Paglia. So anyways, I can't complain about having, let's say, fans. People have been unbelievably good to me, and I'm really grateful for that. So